Now we arrive in another country, former of the Soviet Union, and we're gonna talk about Georgia. But first, on the Finland video that I made, I saw a lot of people didn't agree that much with what I said. I would guess most of them are from the left part or even from Finland. I know it's hard to accept that your system, which pretty much you see as the only one that can save the world and is so perfect and nothing could go wrong. I know it's hard to accept that, but I stand by what I said, and I don't think Finland system that they have, especially the socialist one, is going to have any future. So I understand why you strongly disagree with me, and I see even some comment, which is good because I like to hear about someone's opinion, but I don't think, like I say, the Finland system, the socialist one, they're actually gonna work in the future. And somebody says like Finland don't make kids because it's a choice, and what is wrong with have pretty much no kids and everything. Like I said, you need to have at least one, if not two kids. I guess what's happened in the 60s and 70s when a lot of population just blow up and kind of alienate pretty much the chance for those new generations to have kids because of the overpopulation. But having no kids, it's always a bad choice, I would say. But yeah, I'll go back to our video now. We're gonna talk about Georgia. Georgia is one of those countries that it will be again somewhat controversial, but I'm gonna make the video anyway. Now Georgia, they already seen some decline in population, especially after the Soviet Union collapses, and now with a growing rate, I would say it's pretty much all over the place. But we're gonna see how it was in the past and how it's gonna be in the future. Also, I want to mention once again, any data that you're gonna find on internet, including from the official governments, I do not believe them that are exactly right, especially even with us, with this site also, because it's hard to get track to every single person, every single month, every single year, and even then, when you get some tracks on them, I still believe the numbers are not exactly with reality from political reasons and so on. So even the government, I strongly believe they don't know how many people are in their country either, and in some way they kind of don't want to know either, because they want to have the numbers that they suit them better for their agenda. But now let's go to Georgia. 1955, the Georgia was 3.7 million people. The yearly growing rate was like 1.3. Migrants was 11,000, so on plus. Median age 25.9. I would say pretty old for 1955, but it is what it is. Fertility rate 2.8, so very safe for the replacement, no problems there. And the urban population was around 40%, which is I would say for that part of the world pretty decent. Now the global rank was 82, but Georgia wasn't one of those huge big countries. You can see it right here. You can ask that much from them. It's pretty much like I say here in the Asia. Some of them they still trying to include that in Europe. I don't think Georgia is an European country. They try to kind of blend with Europeans when they suit them better, but I'm not considering Georgia even remotely tied to Europe. Now, in a present in 2025, you're gonna see for the first time, not exactly for the first time, but especially after when pandemic hit, the population you can see here from 2022 rise a bit, and I would say a lot of them former migrants, which I suspect they were from Russia, entering the country, or some countries around them, but most likely I would say from Russia. But you can see from pretty much 1970 migration was on minus, and also the population start going down after the Soviet Union collapses. So by, let's say, 1995, when we have those data, you're going to see population go down. They're going up, like I say, when the war started, and now it kind of go back to the normal rate, which is going down. Migration is still a bit up, but now in 2025, the median age is 37 years old, so more than 10 years older than it used to be in 1955. The urban population is 62 now, so that's a nice improvement, I would say. And the global rank is 131, but I say that doesn't mean much for the Georgia. Now in the future, in 2050, let's say, the population will continue to go down. It's going to be pretty much 3.6 million people, which I still believe is not exactly the real number. Probably it's going to go a bit lower than that, probably under 3 million. But again, Georgia is not one of those big countries that can actually project economic power or technology or any kind of industry. If I look around the house, I can find anything that was at least designed in Georgia, or not mentioning made in Georgia. So not such a huge industry, I would say. Now the yearly change is going to be minus 22%, minus 0.22%. So you can see the yearly change is growing on minus, and also the migration is going to, especially from 2035. But even now, I would say 1,000 people, 600 people, the migration is not that worry. It's pretty much negligible. The median age for the next 25 years is gonna pretty much plateau, I would say. It's just gonna go older by 3 years, so it's not that much, but you can see the fertility rate in 2050 is gonna be 1.7, so definitely below replacement. And you can see the fertility rate in Georgia from 1955 was well beyond replacement, and 1995 they go down and down. They have some, like I say, some, but again, I don't believe exactly all those data. Some 2015, when the fertility rate was above replacement rate, which was good for them, but then they go down, and in the future it looks like they stabilize at 1.7, 1.8, but it's still too low, especially when we have migration on minus, and the population is still going down, the native population, and also they're getting older. Now the urban population, even in 2050, is going to be 67%, which is for 2050 is not that much, but Georgia is not, let's say, an ugly country, so probably it's going to be much better to just live outside the cities. It's pretty much, you can see here, a mountain country, and I saw some images, so it's not actually bad at all to just live in the countryside there. It's very nice and peaceful, I would say. If you don't live in a in a conflicted area, you're going to talk about that later. Now, the life expectancy in Georgia, they seem some steadily grow, I would say. For both sexes, it's almost 75 years old. Females at 79 and males at 70. So it is a pretty big gap between females and males. So 10 years, I would consider it a huge one, especially in a country in 2025. Especially when you talk about ex-Soviet country that somehow it's half, I would say, industrialized, and also being part of second world countries. Now, infant mortality is 6.7, and death under age of 5, it's 7.7, so pretty high. I would say the medical system needs some work in Georgia, but like I say, for the second world country, it is what it is. You have one city, Tbilisi, with more than 1 million people, which in any country is nice to have one of those cities when you actually say people are moving in. Not a huge number, but still we have something there. The rest of them is pretty much around 100, like I say, the top 4, it's around 150,000 people. The rest of them it's under, so you can see I would say decently spread, not a hugely one. Now you can see here, this is the map of the Georgia, and you have all those red areas when you say do not travel. I think they still have some problem there with the Russian, especially you can see here the northern border. I heard some some story when the Russian moved the fence in one night and they just when they wake up they just have less land, which is kind of funny to just think that somebody will do that just in the middle of the night, move the fence, and now it's the Russian territory or whatever country. It's ours, let's say. That's pretty much something interesting, I would say. Now, Georgia aspires to the European Union. You can see here it's recognized as a potential candidate. See, this is Georgia, and I don't think that will be especially even not from Georgia, even for those who are currently official candidates. You can see here, European Union is not like the saviors of of everything. If your country cannot put themselves together and pretty much fix their economy, fix their standard of living, and you expect to do that through someone else, or someone else do it for you, it doesn't matter if they call it European Union or whatever union, whatever institution or other system that I put in place. It's not gonna work. Don't think for a second that just being part of the European Union, you're gonna see some great wealth overnight, and not just wealth, because you can see growing numbers, but the life itself is not gonna get that much better. Probably get even worse, especially with the freedoms. And we can see here the countries that are part of the European Union right now, and one of those bridges, I would say, even was here in the recent years. I don't see a European Union, especially not like it used to be in the past, and definitely in the present and in the future, it's going to be much weaker. And you already see countries that leaving the European Union, like United Kingdom. I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, some country in the Northern Africa that also was part of the European Union. I don't remember exactly the name, Algeria or something like that. Then they leave. And you can see it's not for the first time then people coming in the Union and leaving. And also I will say those countries that aspire to be in the European Union, probably they will be accepted in some point when the European Union will be pretty much so weak and nothing to gain for them, especially for the regular people. Probably for the elites, you're going to have some advantages, but for the regular them, like I say, European Union, it's in decline in my opinion. I don't see any reason, like I said, if you expect someone else to just do it for you and you waiting for money, let's say, or whatever aid, whatever you want to say, from a country that is going to impose some rules on you. Don't think for a second those money are for free. Nobody gives you money for free, and even technology, even aid, nothing is for free in this world. And they're going to ask pretty much your freedom in return, because they have to ask for something. They're going to establish your rules, and once they're going to be part of the European Union. In the first few years, you're going to see pretty much, I would say, no changes in your lifestyle, except the fact that it's going to start to impose more rules on you, and freedoms that you used to have in the past. Now it's going to be pretty much in the past. You're not going to see them back, and that's why I think it's not. That's the main reason I would say I will not. I will be judgmental about the European Union about that. And the standard of living, yeah, they will improve again, but not that how much you expected, and also not in the way expected, not in the time frame that you expected, and also not without the cost. Like I say, you're gonna pay with something, and most likely it's gonna be with your freedom. And even those money that they give you, they're gonna take it back in some form or another. So like I say, nothing is for free. But for the Georgia future, it's kind of blank, whatever you call it. If they stay outside the European Union, it's gonna be pretty much as they are today. If you go somehow in the European Union, don't expect to be not say perfect, but not even that good as you might think. I have, like I say, especially from those eastern countries. From the western one, also some trouble there too. But I don't know, somebody, if they say, look, take Italy, you are born, let's say, in Rome or whatever city, born there, and you are used to it with the lifestyle there right now, not in the past, because even there they recognize it. The things were much simpler in the past than today. They are somehow easier to adapt, because if you think you're gonna just leave the Georgia from the Western countries, because pretty much that's everybody is thinking, just easier to travel in those countries. You're not gonna be going in France and have all those high-level jobs with high salary. You're gonna pretty much have the lower one with minimum wage and not that much standard of the living, I would say. It's gonna be probably much better than you have in Georgia. But again, if you're waiting for someone else to just do the heavy lifting for you, just because you don't want to put the work into it, like I say, they're not gonna be for free. They're gonna ask a lot in return. So yeah, from Georgia, it doesn't look good either way. Even if they go in the European Union, it's not gonna be, I would say, especially the first years, a huge impact. And also, like I say, you're gonna see your freedom cut in half immediately. And if you stay like they are right now, I would say probably, if not suddenly, in some point, it's gonna have some Russian intervention in all of the country, not just in the northern place. So it looks like the best way, I would say, I would recommend it for every single one of them, is just move outside of Europe. Probably again, I have to recommend the United States once again, because it feels like at least you have some peace there, but it's not going to be easy there too. So don't expect anything to there. So if you have, I know, a good plumber, a good electrician, or you are still willing to go to one of those courses, let's say, to learn something new, it is again probably the United States is going to be the best bet, because even in the Western Europe, it's not much to it. England is pretty much falling apart. There is pretty much attack on freedom. It's daily basis there. So when you have no freedom, there is nothing worth from that country, in my opinion. And learning, let's say, French or Spanish or whatever other language, German, probably you are at least some minimum knowledge about English. So, like I say, it's harder to achieve to go in the United States. I get that, but it's probably again the best bet that you can do. And then that was the video about Georgia. I know it's gonna be pretty much like a feelant. Somebody is gonna disagree, but like I say, you disagree, no problem. Just leave a comment, and I'm gonna try to explain my position and respond to your comment. But that's my take on the Georgia. It doesn't look good for them. Doesn't matter what they do from now. And like I say, the fertility rate is still going down. It's below replacement, so population gonna struggle a bit. And like I say, probably in 2050 is gonna be under 3 million. For such a small country, God knows how, like I say, the economy is gonna perform if they don't pull themselves together and just waiting for European Union to save them.